30th. Go ahead.
All right, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order and we're gonna do some roll call.
Commissioner Gomer. Yep. Rupert.
Here.
Barrett.
Present.
Keller. Haynes.
Here.
Held.
Here.
Ribbons. Here. Brian. Here. Freeberg.
All right. We have the agenda approval for the July 18th meeting. A motion to approve.
Motion.
To approve. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And then we have the minutes approval from our June 20th meeting. Motion to approve those. I motion. Second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Public comment. Public comment? No old business, just new business. So we have an event application for the Log Cabin Day Parade on 9th. We get a chance to look at that. Friday, it's an application.
It's a Saturday, so
Okay, it's a Saturday.
there was two different things in the application. And I even see in my memo here, I got that wrong, that one said September 29th, the one I think said September 30th, but we did affirm that it was on Saturday at 10 a.m.
Okay, perfect.
So whatever date that is,
That's the 30th.
yes.
29th is Friday.
Okay.
So that should say,
Yeah,
30th?
the memo was bad.
Oh, okay.
It says September 29th. It should say September 30th, but it's Saturday, September 30th at 10 a.m. to clarify.
Everybody get a chance to look at that application? Anybody opposed to it?
the little parade route scribbled, or what's that?
Yeah, so the parade route starts at the administration building and then it'll go south on Buxton, east on Ashland, kind of around and then back west on Salem out to the county fairgrounds.
Mhm.
So that'll be
Okay.
3 blocks around the square. That'll be closed.
For a short time.
Yeah, so setup would begin at 9 a.m. and then they would have it dismantled by 11:30.
Anybody have concerns about that? A motion to approve?
To approve.
Second?
Also, yeah.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Next item is the event application for the children's costume party on Saturday morning, October 28th. Hosted by the Indianola Parks and Rec. Everybody get a chance to take a look at that application. It's 3 sides of the square will be closed from 9 a.m. until shortly after noon.
12:15.
12:15.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the timeliness of the pickup of that event. It always is. I think Saturday morning street closures are always controversial.
Short time.
It's a short time.
Yep.
It's efficient. Highly attended event.
Yeah, it's a great event.
I thought we talked about that having this at a different location instead of on the square. I mean, to be perfectly honest, this event hurts my business. Because people can't get there and those people aren't there to shop, they're there with their kids. And Saturday morning is a prime shopping time for my customers. So I love supporting kids and doing all the things, but it does get expensive, to be honest with you, to hand out that much candy. And then when I don't have customers coming in my door, it's hard for me to. So I just have, not that I'm opposed to the event, but I thought we had talked about last year, possibly moving it to an elementary school or, you know, where there's a playground or something more for kids to do.
The downtown merchants did go to city council about this. And I think there are individual opinions, but I don't know that that reflects the majority of the merchants. If you go to a merchants meeting, I think most of us are supportive.
Yeah, I would agree. I've said it numerous times, we're here to represent everybody on the square, not just the businesses, people that live there, other offices, whatnot, but we're also here to represent the community and, just like the balloon flyover, highly attended. My opinion, we should have closed it for the balloon thing. That's also a controversial thing, but much like any other historical districts in Des Moines, wherever, you have to close squares and streets for events. I think if you want to succeed, because if you look at places like Valley Junction and whatever, where other developments are happening, look at Indianola, the north of town is blowing up. People can bypass the square immediately. Don't even have to think about us. But you get them to think about us, come down for special events.
Our goal is to be a destination, and then if we put it at the school, that doesn't help us.
So I
be a
think, yeah,
destination.
I think you have to, you always have to do it. Safety, the town wants it. I mean, I don't know how many questions we fielded 2 weeks leading up to the balloon parade. They're like, what? The square is not closed. Like, you probably heard it too. It's like, what do you mean the square is not closed, And then people have their kids on the sidewalks and it's like, yeah, sorry. It's like, they didn't decided not to close it this year, So then there's people, I've got tons of pictures of people, even in the streets, and it's like, I don't like this, I just don't. I'm afraid it's gonna take one person getting hit and then everybody's gonna be like, done, we're closing it for everything, or we're not doing anything. And it's just like, I don't wanna get there either. Yeah.
How do they ask businesses? Like, do you get to participate in passing out candy if you want to, not want to? Yeah,
Yeah, I walk around and I give them choice. They have a choice. I tell them the date. And if they want to, then I put in a trick or treat sign here, or like, you can come trick or treat here.
and they can either be like in their store or on the sidewalk.
They
They
can put a
can be-
table out there, say help yourself, and then candy there. I've also have been able to get volunteers from the high school, Silver Court Hours, to help out local businesses if they need an extra person. Some of them actually want them to come into their store so that they'll want to come back and buy more.
Yeah, some places you would
in
want to,
there.
like Corner Sundry, and see them.
Right?
Like, yeah,
It's an
it's coming in.
anchor.
But then other places, like if I own Feed and Foster,
Right.
like no, they'll be kids in here.
Breakables, yes. Yes, but Crimson Anchor loves it. I mean, but that's their choice.
Yep.
It's a choice.
Okay, okay. I didn't know how that worked from a business point of view. I just go, okay.
And I think it's a mixed bag. I think most participate, but I think there are some that it's just not the right thing for them.
Or they're not open.
Right.
So any like the law offices up there. We had a floors up on the corner. They didn't participate because they're not open on that Saturday. So
So the courthouse isn't gonna do anything like they did for the holiday extravaganza?
no, but I have to put in an application to utilize theirs.
Oh, yeah.
We always do the costume contest on there.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, it's like a
it
built-in
takes-
stage.
It's the built-in stage. It's perfect.
Yeah.
We also do our photos over there.
Photos are important.
Just to be clear, I'm not saying I'm opposed to a kid. I just know we talked about this a year ago, so I'm bringing it up to just
Yeah, I
discuss it
remember that.
again, so.
I think in that conversation, we talked about different facts that we wanted people on the square. Like we definitely discussed the different locations, but I don't think any of the other locations ever kind of equaled up to being as good as the square. It's the
Yeah.
conversation I remember.
It also tied in when they were gonna work on the parking lot of the Opera House, and we're gonna have that lane. But that's not gonna work this year with the construction and everything going on. So in the future, maybe. But again, it's not gonna work this year.
When I come to this meeting, I try to be, I 4 different sections in my head that I think about. I think about I'm the owner of the brick house, and that's why I'm on this commission ultimately. In any event that's on the square, increase the business. Because I'm the chair of this commission, I was appointed to the lovely parking task force, which is not my favorite way to serve our community. And there's just so many conflicting opinions of parking. And when I hear street closure on a Saturday, I think about that parking task force. And on the record, I at the Brick House do not have a parking issue. So it's hard for me to be open-minded about that conversation. I understand that there is a parking issue, but when we close streets, the same people that are in need of parking are for street closures. So that's where the conflicting opinions, I'm like, you know, what do we want? And that ties into the amount of time that I served on the streetscape committee. I worked with engineers and architects and everything. And once again, I would love if Jim Harbaugh could come in or somebody from his team could come in and give a presentation again about how our downtown was designed and why we have 13-foot sidewalks and all of this, because it was designed to be pedestrian friendly no matter what. The flow of traffic is safer, the speed of traffic is slower because it's two-way. You know, it was a very thoughtful process. And anybody else, did anybody in this room serve on that committee at all? And I just feel like we've gotten away from the way we designed our downtown and how we're utilizing it. And I don't know, I just like to see one common theory of this is the purpose, this is what we want, this is what we need. And I know everybody's not gonna ever agree on it, but when I come in here and I mean, it's like a mixing bowl in my head, because I'm like, yeah, event, yeah, 800 kids, 800 to 1,000 kids, that's great. Their families are gonna come, that's pizza. But then the big P word comes up and I'm like, I don't want to hear anybody complain about parking if we're going to close down 3 sides of the street and take up that many spots. Afton and I had a conversation before we walked in here. I am not opposed to the kids event, not opposed to it. I'm opposed to over talking about parking if we are willing to close streets on a Saturday that's prime retail day.
Well, I think that's part of it too, you know, you have 1,000 to 3,000 people walking around the square and you don't have a good day. I think that's on you because you have the opportunity to market to that crowd, promote yourself. So if you don't, like, honestly, if you don't have a good day, nobody's fault but yours, because there's 3,000 people 20 feet away from your door. It's not 100% on you. If you want to participate and get as many of those people in your doors, that's on you.
I appreciate that, but as a business owner too, in my line of business, people don't shop with little kids and strollers with candy in their hands. And when I have clothes that could get, I mean, I've done it before, I've had chocolate hands all over my white cabinets. I love kids. I welcome kids. I have crayons and color sheets for the kids that come in. I have candy. So I'm not opposed to it at all, but I will say I disagree with, I sound like I don't try, but you know, having all those kids in there, they don't come in with their kids. Who, do you want to shop with little kids? I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
You know,
It's the only choice I have.
so people just don't like, I mean, I do whatever I can to entertain them. I hold babies. You know, I'm all for it. I welcome them all the time. I welcome kids. I welcome dogs. You know, I welcome everybody. It's just on that particular day, I've done it for several years and I will continue to do it. But in my business, they don't walk around pushing lots of strollers.
The reality is that we close the square, other than parades, 3 times during the year, that we give that back to the community. Ridiculous days, this holiday extravaganza. And I just don't see how we can get to be a destination if we move things to other places.
We won't. Like I said, we'll be forgotten because there's a major highway that runs 2 blocks away and there's other developments going in.
If retail ever starts out by the
See you later.
YMCA, we're downtown's gonna be in trouble, right?
That's why you're gonna have to embrace the events. You're gonna have to. Because places like Valley Junction, all these other towns, why are they doing that? Because out of necessity, because otherwise, I hate to say it, there's no other reason to go.
The studies are there. If you can Google it. and
You
the
have to
studies are absolutely there.
create that again, because it's no longer the only place to go.
Everyone's.
20 or 30 years ago, sure.
I think that's a question. I don't think I think everyone wants to have the event, it's just how we have the event.
Right.
Right, but I mean, the street closures, it should be a non-issue, because you cannot have these events without closing streets. It is dangerous, like if anybody was on our block during the balloon thing, and there were people with strollers like hitting each other because they literally couldn't get by on the new widened sidewalks. Like regardless of how wide they are and how pedestrian friendly are, yeah, pedestrian friendly during a normal day. But these events, it's like, it's still not pedestrian friendly. You can't walk a dog and push a stroller and then be passing people and then have cars parked. It's like, that doesn't work. Like I have 10 pictures on my phone from the balloon thing, which was awesome. It was a great night. The weather was perfect, tons of people out. But that one standpoint, tons of people were like, they should have closed the street again. And then they're on the sidewalk because they're like, hey, get over here, you know, there's cars going by. It's like, this could have been a way better event had we just closed the square again.
I think we had illusions in the beginning when we designed that streetscape of they were wide and we could do anything on them. You could do some events on them, but you certainly can't not do everything. They're just not wide enough, not as wide as we all started out thinking.
I appreciate the condensed time frame of it. I think it, it does allow for afternoon shopping and things like that. And I think families appreciate that too. Like, as a parent, I'm like, okay, you got 2 hours, get done.
Well, I've had people from Ankeny that I've talked to and they love our little town and they've come down for the children's costume party. They have no idea who I am. We were at the Ninja Warrior gym and they said they wish they could find a house down here to live here because they love how we're doing events on the square. And they primarily come for the children's costume party. And I was so delighted to hear that because I'm in charge of that. And it made my day, but they're like, there's so many cute stores up on that square and places to eat that, we just come back another day because we might be busy. We might have a stroller. We may have this. And it's been multiple families from Altoona, Johnston, Ankeny. I've had Norwalk. I mean, I've had people reach out to me telling me how much they love the children's costume party and they look forward to coming down here every year.
I agree. I'm from Southern Iowa, I'm from Osceola and Leon area. And you guys, I post on social media as much as I can about every event we have. And whether I attend or not, I have so many friends and family that come to the square for this event,
Yes.
It's a big deal.
And I had to revise. I was going to say we have a right of way, so they take a right over from Buxton or it would be Salem to Buxton and the same thing from Salem to Howard. But I spoke with, and I had to get approval first too, from AP and Matt Anders. And they're like, Afton, it's not safe. We need to go back a block, put the signs up, warn people. And I agree from that standpoint too, doing this event for almost 5 years now. We've had people, Doug and I are setting up. We've had people go around the barriers and then take out a sign and push it down the street. And we're right there. That was a child. We've also had, we had the Community First Credit Union train and a kid, we had parking over there by the corner sundry and the kid fell out of the train and right behind a car, and a car is about close to backing up because we allowed parking. So again, parents have told me they love this event because it's safe. Everything's closed. All their kids are up there. They don't have to worry. And then if for shopping purposes, they tell me if they aren't able to get in there today, they make it so they come another day because they love our square. And we need to keep that love.
We probably have fielded calls, the downtown merchants from, I would bet, like 6 other communities who come to our events and take notes and say, doing it right. So we are impressing other.
Pella's going to host a ridiculous days. I don't know if they've done that.
I've never seen that before, so I wonder.
Yeah. I saw that in it. That speak volumes to the events you guys were hosting.
Will there be a wine witches brew this year?
There it is.
Is that the night before, like we did this last year?
It's that Friday night of Halloween. It's like the 28th or 29th.
So that'd be
the
the
28th, right?
Or the 28th, so
27th will be.
27th,
Night before
Okay.
yours.
because we'll need to discuss bathroom facilities if this is approved. We are going to share like we did this time. So,
Not when streets don't close, correct?
They do not.
Will the Regions building be an option by then, Charlie and Ben?
The Regions Bank building?
For using it as a bathroom, you're saying?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
We have keys now. We probably will.
And the chamber, so the chamber just during our Friday Night Live concert, we filled out an application through the county and were able to use the annex building instead of having porta potties. As long as we had somebody that was monitored.
in there.
Yeah, I mean, to my knowledge, there were no issues. So if you had county annex building and the Regions building, probably wouldn't be a need for porta potties. It was nice to deflect people
Right.
that direction. I mean, yeah, you had both sides.
What about the Regions bathroom for the kids costume?
For the what?
What about Regions, the bathrooms for even this event, the costume thing?
I think we would be fine. We're in the process of ordering the automatic door controllers that can be controlled by the police department so they can open and close. So the only logistical issues right now is we actually have to have somebody go unlock it and lock it up and clean it. But other than that, it's just a matter of getting the key to the right person.
That would be awesome.
We have it available for ridiculous days.
That helps a lot.
It does.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Forward.
Moving forward.
Again, I just had to ask.
I know,
I mean, I feel like I got beaten down there. I just had to ask because it was brought up. I'm all for kids events.
All in favor?
Emotion.
Oh, yeah. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the Halloween costume event?
All motion.
Give a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nope. Okay. Comments, 2023 downtown facade and interior improvement program grant awardees walking tour, July 20th at 2:30 p.m. There are lots of words there.
Just wanted to make sure that the downtown Square Commission was aware that this Thursday at 2:30, we're gonna do kind of a walking tour of all the awardees who received a grant. We're planning just, I think, about 15-minute stops at each one where we give an opportunity for the city to say something, for the property owners to say something, and then we'll kind of move on. We've done a press release for it, so we're hoping that we can get maybe some press coverage on it as well too, but just as this commission was heavily involved in putting this program together, and the guidelines and all that stuff, just wanted to make sure that you were all aware, and if you can join us, that would be great. That is all I have on that.
Starting from?
We start at 105 South Howard, so that's the Slim Investments property at 2:30, and then at 2:45, we go to Warren County Abstract at 3 o'clock, Hair MD. 3:15 Bob's Custom Trophy, 3:30 the Zoo Bar, and then 3:45 the Harrison's sign.
Do you want us on the tour or at our locations?
Either one, I will leave it up to you guys. I think there's a requirement one way or the other, yeah.
Anything else?
Unless there's any questions.
Yeah, a motion to adjourn. Second? All in favor? Made it.
Everybody's getting the meetings on time.
25 minutes.